How much will your stimulus check actually be from the new law? Are you even eligible? I mean, with the changes in who's eligible, will you not even get one? And what about unemployment? Should you hold back on filing those e-files? I've got the details on how the new stimulus plan impacts you. That and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I am the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, folks, this is now $5 trillion of stimulus money that's been passed and approved in the past 12 months. Apparently, I didn't fact check this, but I saw it earlier, that is more money than all corporate profits in 2019. Which was, obviously better than 2020. So $5 trillion of stimulus. This is unbelievable. The $1.9 trillion stimulus bill has now been passed. Now, what's in it? How's it going to impact you? I've got 4 ways right now. The first thing that everyone's talking about is the direct stimulus payments. Will you get one? So there's some good news here, and there's a little bit of bad news as well. The good news is it's $1,400, which is great. I mean, that's higher than the first 2, and it solves an enormous problem, apparently an innocent mistake from the last 2, and that was your adult children, your adult dependents, your college student, your 18-year-old. If someone was a dependent on your tax return, dependent child on your tax return, but they were younger or not younger than 17, if they were 17 or older is a better way to say that, they were left out of the past 2 stimulus payments. Not this one. They're going to get the $1,400, or better yet, you will on their behalf. So they solved the dependent child issue from the previous one. However, they made the phase out much shorter, and this means millions of people that got stimulus payments in the past aren't eligible now. So I shared with you in a previous video that now for married filing jointly, if your adjusted gross income is below $150,000, you're fine. You're going to get the full stimulus amount, the $1,400 per person in your household. However, if your adjusted gross income is above $150,000, it's going to phase out. That stimulus payment will be reduced between $150,000 and $160,000. And then you get nothing if your adjusted gross income is above $160,000. Previously, it was a phase out between $150,000 and $200,000. So this is a big change. If you're an individual tax filer, $75,000 below, you get the full thing. But your phase out's only that runway is only $75,000 to $80,000. So that's the drawback. To me, I have a big issue with this because the entire idea around this $1,400 was to make that $600 you got last time true it up to $2,000. So why change who's eligible? This makes no sense to me. But those payments are on the way. How soon? I would expect very soon. President should sign this thing pretty soon. And now that we've got all the votes. And so I would expect within a week, maybe 2 weeks. And so make sure that you're being mindful of when you file your taxes. Because if you weren't eligible based on 2019, but you will be based on 2020, make sure you file that return. You get that stimulus payment right away. However, if you are eligible in 19, but you wouldn't be for 20, this is more important. You've got to delay filing, so you can get that stimulus check. Because if you file 2020 and you're not eligible, this is a tax credit. So sorry, no dice. So make sure you're working with your CFP and CPA on that. The second big deal in this stimulus that's going to impact you also impacts your taxes, and that is right. Even though I've been saying it and several others, not just me, but hey, we've got this huge tax problem brewing with unemployment benefits. Unemployment, when people are hurting and are out of a job, they collect unemployment from the state and from the government, and then you tax that money? Yeah, that is no good, especially during a pandemic when 70 million some people were on unemployment. We've known about this. We've known about it. People are now filing their taxes. They've been filing their taxes for a month. And yet now in this stimulus bill, $10,200 of your unemployment is not taxable at the federal level if for a joint taxpayer you make below $150,000. So those same income limits apply there. So this is a huge relief. And yet it's a huge disaster. It's a nightmare as well for the IRS, personally. I'm just telling you, because now that this thing is passed, If you've already filed your return and you actually claim that unemployment income, you now have to amend. Or if you've delayed filing, now you've got to update your tax return and not have that income in there. Well, that seems easy enough, right? Just don't put the figures in there. No, you still have to report this because the IRS has a tax form. So you've got to wait for your tax software, your H&R whatever, your torpedo tax, your CPA software, all of that needs to be updated now based on, well, is this income still going to be counted in your adjusted gross income, just not taxed? Or is it not counted in your adjusted gross income? Why does that matter? Because you're eligible or not eligible for a whole bunch of different tax credits, child tax credit, retirement savers credit, all other sorts of things are based off of that adjusted gross income. So they've got to decide, is this included or not? Plus, your state, if you live in a state that has state taxes, your state needs to determine, well, are they still going to tax this money or not? Here in Indiana, they added back the $300 charitable donation deduction that people got. Apparently, Indiana's thinking about not taxing this $10,200. So we are, politicians have known about this for months and months and months, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. And now, middle of March, just a month left before the tax season is over, they finally pass this thing. It's going to be several weeks until all the software is updated, but just know, if you have unemployment benefits, if you've already filed your taxes, you might need to amend, okay? But wait a little bit because all the software needs to be updated. Speaking of unemployment, if you're on unemployment, the new stimulus plan did extend the $300 additional per week federal benefit all the way until September. First week in September is when that expires now. The original House plan had an extra $400. So it was originally $600 per week way back during the CARES Act. Then it dropped to $300 per week, and Trump was hoping states would throw in an extra $100 a week. And then the House plan originally had an extra $400 a week. Senate switched it to $300 and the House passed it. Wow, does that make sense? Did you follow that? But that's the plan, is an extra $300 per week extended onto your unemployment. That will go all the way until early September. And the final part of this $1.9 trillion stimulus plan that I think is going to impact you the most is enhancements to the child tax credit for this year only, for 2020 only. Now, they are talking about trying to make this permanent. We will see, but the child tax credit, as long as your adjusted gross income was below $400,000, since the Trump tax laws, this has been a $2,000 tax credit that you would get for any child up to until they turn age 17. So 16 and younger, you get $2,000. Okay. The new bill does several things with this. Okay, it changes this $2,000 to $3,600 if you have a child younger than age 6. And if your income is below $150,000, okay? If your income is above $150,000, it starts getting phased out down to, instead of $3,600, down to the $2,000 number, and then you'll still get the $2,000 number all the way until your adjusted gross income is $400,000. So that's not taking anything away from you; it's just enhancing the benefit if your adjusted gross income is $150,000 or below or slightly above. All right, but that's if your kiddo is under the age of 6. If your child is age 6 to 17, that's right, including age 17, instead of $2,000, it's $3,000. Again, married filing jointly, your adjusted gross income needs to be below $150,000. If it's above that, again, it starts tapering off until it hits that $2,000 per child, all the way until your income's $400,000, adjusted gross income's $400,000. Again, that's a 1 year sort of deal. They're trying to make that more permanent. In fact, they're trying to dole it out on a monthly basis instead of just making it a tax credit. And obviously, if they're going to do this permanently, that would make sense. If it's not a permanent change, if it's just for 2021. I don't know why you'd go through the restructuring to pay this out in advance. Seems like a nightmare and a big target for fraudsters. All right, so there you have it. The major 4 ways that the new stimulus plan, the $1.9 trillion stimulus plan, is going to impact you. Hey, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the stimulus plan, leave comments below. If you don't like it, leave comments below. I know a lot of people who are all of a sudden phased out of the direct stimulus payment and feel ripped off, honestly, feel ripped off, even though they received some last time, they're not getting some this time. I think it creates a lot of dangers and issues here. However, huge. This will be a huge, propeller, I think, in the economy. We'll see where this goes. Work with your certified financial planner, and obviously so much of this is connected to your taxes, so make sure you're doing planning and doing getting your taxes prepared, doing tax planning with your certified financial planner. You don't have one on your team, reach out to one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com, that's Korhorn with a K, or wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there too. Just give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.